Well, as we get rolling here in 2025, I know a lot of people are thinking about what can you do to take the next step forward financially. Well, today we're going to tell you about that. We're going to talk about some of the decisions and habits that maybe you've had in the past that we're going to help you change here in 2025. We'll do that coming up now. Hello, welcome in. Glad to have you, Mike. It's a new year, 2025. I hope yours is off to a good start, but I want to break some old habits, right? I think we all have some financial habits we'd like to get rid of.
Yeah, habits sometimes have been going on for a few decades, and now as maybe you're getting closer in retirement, you're maybe taking a little more seriously right now. So I think it's time to break. It's never too late to break a bad habit.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's already broken some of their resolutions for 2025 here in week 3 already, but hopefully not. Hopefully you're rolling, and hopefully today's episode is going to help you take that next step financially. I know oftentimes we have financial goals, but today it's not as much about goals as it's about breaking old habits. And again, if you have any questions for Mike, we'd love to hear from you. Principalpreservationservices.com is the website, or you can call 855-987-8888. So Mike, what I want to do is I'm going to tell you the old habit that somebody might have, and then I want you to tell me some ways to maybe change that and put a new spin on it and look at it from a different perspective. So This first habit is, if you're an overspender, and we know there's a lot of people over here living out, outside of their means, not within their budget. And it's a problem right now because things are so expensive, right? So how do you change that and try to bring that spending back down under control?
Yeah, it's important right now if you are that overspender, you don't know where money is going. And I've had those conversations with clients in my office. I don't know where my money goes. You have to get a very detailed report. So maybe you're at the place where you're charging everything, either on a debit card or a credit card. Get those reports and find out where you are spending your money. I think it's good to list all your spending habits, right? Is it going on coffee runs? Is it eating out? Is it too much entertainment, going to the movies, ordering fast, pizza, eating, whatever that might be, shopping at the mall. Find out where your money is going, dollar for dollar, month by month, to find out where it is going. Prioritize what is a want, what is a need. I think that's the biggest thing. Is a lot of times we said our wants become our needs, and that's not true. We have to understand, if you've ever been through a really tough financial situation, you'll know really quick what is a need and what is a want right there. And so I think the easy part has been for overspenders is using the credit card, taking it out, maybe put it in a safe for a while, maybe lock it up a little bit. I'm not saying to cancel the cards, but I'm saying get in the habit of not using those cards if that is becoming a bad habit.
Yeah, using the cards is all right. I know you talk about it all the time. It's using the cards and paying it off every month is a great habit to get into, but it's when you spend that money and don't pay it all off that month, that's where it becomes a problem.
Exactly. I like to use credit cards, so I get paid to use the cards by the companies I represent. Essentially, I'm ambassador for Capital One and Chase, but I get paid every month. So I use credit cards to pay me. So, which reminds me, I have some money coming in the mail, which is exciting. But that's not how it was 2 decades ago. I used them incorrectly. Today, I don't do that.
Yeah, credit cards can be a powerful thing if you're using them in the correct way. All right, let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum, Mike. Those that save to a fault. And you might say, well, what do you mean saving's bad? But we're talking about the people that save, but just don't know how to enjoy that money. So how do you help change that mindset?
Yeah, I have to, these are maybe the harder clients I work with. I mean, it's great that they're not running out of money because they keep saving. They're afraid to spend it, in a sense. Maybe you just came from that household. Maybe the parents or grandparents were in that depression years and they just saved, or farmers and they lost the farm, or they just really struggled. So they get to that mindset of just always saving, that something bad is going to happen. But the problem with that is now you have inflationary losses. I see some of these clients having $500,000, $1 million plus in savings accounts that are just way too much money. And unless you're saving it to buy a property or something short term, car, vehicle, land, whatever it might be, major house remodel, that's just way too much to have in the bank. Start using it. So I said, you have your health now. I said, we don't know what the health will be in the future. This is the time to enjoy life. And sometimes it's not just one. It's one spouse wants to spend, the other spouse doesn't want to spend. So remember, retirement is a mutual deal. You have to come to agreement. It's not just one wins or the other loses. Let's both win and find a way to enjoy that money You've been working for 35, 40 years. Now you're retired. Let's spend some of that money, enjoy it. But obviously working with an advisor to find out what is that healthy amount to do so.
Yeah, that's the biggest part is planning, right? If you know exactly where that money is and where it's going, then you don't hesitate as much to spend that money. So again, why it's important to get a plan in place. And if you haven't done that already, please text the word retire to 21,000. You can set up a time to learn more about how to build out your retirement reality roadmap with Mike and his team at Principal Preservation Services. Again, text retire to 21,000. Now, the next habit, Mike, we want to try to break here in 2025 is one that kind of develops over time. I think it's just not knowing how much you have or what all accounts you have. And that's one that kind of builds up as you add more accounts, as you grow, as you change jobs. Like these things all kind of happen. And all of a sudden, you don't know exactly where everything is.
Yeah, that's a scary place. And we've met these people many times too in my office. So sometimes we have maybe our second or third meeting, like, oh, by the way, I found this account and I just found this account. And like, I forgot I had this account. It's like, oh my goodness, this could be money lost if you didn't pay attention. The key is when you have all these accounts, you don't need to have, 5, 8, 10, 12. I've seen as many as 19 retirement accounts at one time. All over the place. It's going to be hard to manage, especially as we get older and our memory's not as sharp as it used to be. Get a piece of paper, write down all the accounts you have, all the account numbers, and where that money is today. At least you have a record of it. Always have a copy of that in the safe that goes with your will or your trust, whatever you have there. But sit down with an advisor. Now's the time to consider consolidating that, making it a little bit an easier plan in retirement. The last thing you want to do is try to monitor, 5 to 10 different accounts when you can monitor 1 or 2. And again, that comes down to record keeping. Write it down. Take some time, just as we take time every year to update our estate plan or update our life insurance or homeowners insurance or health insurance. We have to go through all these questionnaires year by year. Do the same thing with your retirement accounts as well. Make sure we have those all listed correctly.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. I've been doing some organization here the last couple of weeks here to start the year. It's something you always dread doing, but you just got to do it, right?
You have to do it. And we all have the excuse. Time is our biggest commodity out there. I understand how important time is. The older we get, it seems like we have less time, but you have to block that out. You're going to feel so much better when you get this out of the way.
All right. So another bad financial habit you might have when it comes to investing, especially, is just pausing the money that you're putting in and contributing and investing because you're waiting for things to maybe settle down, right? The market's a little too volatile. You want to wait for things to kind of calm down a little bit. Last year was an election. I think a lot of that kind of comes to mind when you think about these, tumultuous periods. But you can't do that, right, Mike? You got to stay invested and look long term.
Yeah, consistent investing is going to be the most important way to invest because when you stop and start and stop, sometimes you don't start again, right? Maybe it's too long of a delay and you're missing out on that benefit. I had many people in the last few years, like in 2022, we had a bad market, right? In 2020, we had coronavirus, 2018. So a lot of these down markets, and some weren't awful, but just down, people are like, I just put a pause to it. I don't want to contribute in a bad market. Reality is that's when you want to be putting more money in. We should be dollar cost averaging if we're contributing while we're working and getting that free employer match. So remember, when you stop your 401k contributions, you're also stopping your employer match for most of those companies. Most companies will only match if you are contributing. Most companies won't do it if you're putting nothing into it. So get in the habit of just doing it consistently. And I understand there's an emotional aspect to investing. Nobody wants to contribute in the down market, but reality is that's when you want to put more money into the market. Investments are on sale, right? So you're buying, your investments are cheaper at that time than any other time. So that's the time to buy them. So try not to be emotional, be consistent. Don't try to time the market and stop and start. You're just going to miss out a lot of those gains because if you were investing in 2022 and you put money in when it was down 25%, and then what happened in 23, the markets went up. In 2024, the markets were up. You would have had roughly 40+% returns on that money if you were investing it. That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, we saw some significant returns, and I know a lot of people were worried about being in the market during that time, but things went strong. So you don't want to be out. You want to be consistent with your investing. And again, if you need help with that, Principal Preservation Services can do that for you. All right, last one, Mike. If you don't have a plan, right? If you're in 2025 without a true financial plan, one that fits your needs, that's customized for you, that's comprehensive, and instead you're just hoping for the best, that's a habit you got to break.
Yeah, the old phrase, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, essentially, right? So everybody has some sort of a plan, whether you know it or not. Reality is you should have a good financial plan to get all your information in one's section. I just got off a meeting here before we jumped on here, Ben, about a client just doing the planning, looking to retire in about 1.5 to 2 years. We could have started sooner, but the good thing is they're going to be fine. The key is you want to know you're going to be fine. We want to look at budget. We want to look at income. We want to look at assets. We want to look at longevity and health and put it all together and, a risk analysis, a risk assessment of how you are investing today. Most people don't do plans. Only 13% of people in retirement have done a plan. Let's not be that number, because that really means that 87% of the people are winging it. And I don't think winging it in retirement is the best place to be when you've been working for 35 or 40 years. And now you want to make sure you retire and stay retired and you have enough. And there's proper ways to do things. Get a plan put in place. Give us a call.
I love it. Just text the word retire to 21,000. You can start that planning process. Start building out your retirement reality roadmap today. We want 2025 to be different. Hopefully these things will help you kind of break those old habits. But again, follow up with Mike if you have any more questions. Mike, thanks for your time as always. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that already. We'll talk to you again on another episode. Take care.
Investment advisory services offered through Alpha Star Capital Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of the firm by the Commission, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Alpha Star, Principal Preservation Services, LLC, and Principal Wealth Services, LLC are separate and independent entities. Insurance products are offered through Principal Preservation Services, LLC, a Minnesota and Wisconsin insurance agency. Investment advice is offered through Principal Wealth Services, LLC. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products offered by Principal Preservation Services, LLC. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. Fixed insurance and annuity product guarantees are subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company and are not offered or guaranteed by Alpha Star.